All right, everybody. Good to have yuns. We're about to get this party started. Changing the order up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. We have a curriculum, okay? So good to have y'all. Hey, we have a curriculum and we do update it at times. So I'm going to explain how that works so that you don't miss anything. We will start when we get done with FasTrack, we go into the journey. We've always let that kind of be y'all self-guiding into a hodgepodge of videos. It was never really meant to be that way. There's just always been something pulling at us. So we're going to start the journey, assuming everybody's earned the FasTrack badge in here. Has everybody earned the FasTrack badge? Anybody not earned it? You can be here, but we want to keep pushing you to do that. Henny said, did bingo last week. The bingo gang, 5.5 pounds down. Awesome. Hey, Cheryl. Seems like everybody's earned their FasTrack badge. And then we want to go into the journey, the Shibboleth Journey. These are short videos. We also will come here. It's the only way I know that if you're needing me to do support, unless you book a one-on-one, it's really the only way I can keep up with support. We've got Lisa and Larry and Geraldine do a good job. But if you're needing me, we do these lives 12 to 20 times a week so that I can answer questions at the front end and the back end of the members only sessions. And then you can also, if you need more privacy, you need more personalization, you can book a one-on-one. Had several of those this weekend. I want to thank all of you that booked an appointment with me as we transition and do more of that personalization and the private coaching. I really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed our meetings. But this is the way I have to do it. And we always want to start with Q&A, but then we want curriculum. So we'll get into that after we answer any questions that our members may have. Are there any questions, anything that needs clearing up that I haven't cleared up? Anyone? You're struggling with something and can't get it, you haven't gotten an answer that satisfies you yet. You just need pointed in the right direction. Anybody? Because I know some people have to leave before it's over. Everybody good? Okay. So then we go into, let me get this up here. All right. So once we've earned our FasTrack badge, we can toggle back and forth. We'll need to revisit FasTrack from time to time. So we're in FasTrack. We've earned our badge. Then we go into the journey. It's when the all of the variety opens up. In the journey videos, because there are updates and things that happen, updates that need to be made, keep an eye out as we start labeling these. Like you might see Shibboleth Journey 1, and then you see Shibboleth Journey Lesson 2. So it might end up saying Shibboleth Journey Lesson 1.1. You know, we may have to update some stuff because things change in the industry, information changes. So as you're watching the videos, and there'll be probably a notification like there's been an additional video added. These will go on forever. I have filmed so many of these things, it's crazy. They just hadn't all been edited. And there'll be constant updates in the material. You never come to a stopping point with nutrition, never. FasTrack's all you need to lose weight, but you need to be a lifelong student of it and how your body works. How many of you, anytime you've got to a stopping point, you tend to regain weight? When you disengage, you tend to regain it. And that's because our human minds, we don't do good with emptiness and voids. You will have to always be a lifelong student of this, learning, keeping all this top of consciousness and whatnot. Now, some of the journey videos might seem redundant, but really they're not. It's where we're reinforcing things and filling in gaps of information that we weren't able to get to in FasTrack. More a complete understanding of nutrition as we go forward. And every 10 journey videos that you watch, that you mark watched, every 10 of them, you get a point in your badge. So you get the journey badge. You've watched 30 videos. It'll do journey in 3. And as you keep going forward, then the badge will change. It'll be another fun looking digital badge as you move up the ranks of knowledge or whatever. You're basically going on the same journey I did. And it's been good to me, and I think it will be good to you. We won't watch every one of these videos together, but what you're going to see is that the videos are more about not our lifestyle, but why our lifestyle works, like what are calories, what are amino acids. So you're really becoming a student. And when you get done with 40, 50 journey videos, probably when you get your FasTrack badge, but you keep furthering that, you sit down with anybody and you'll be sitting with somebody that you think's an expert and you realize you just out-experted them. Because most people that get into this kind of thing, they don't do it like you and I. They did it to make money. And when you get into something to make money, it don't really ever get down in your heart. It's just surface level. But it's in your heart because you're using the information to change. So we'll just start a video. We'll listen to this short video. We'll unpack it together and just see where this takes us, okay?
Hello everyone, Travis here, founder of Shibboleth. You finished up FasTrack, you better have earned that badge, and now it's time for your Shibboleth journey. A deep dive into all things Shibboleth lifestyle, and I know it's going to be rewarding. So you're starting today, and over the course of the next weeks, you're going to be going through a curriculum that's really going to deepen your education. After you've watched 10 of these videos and marked them as watched, you will have earned your Shibboleth Journey badge. And with each video you watch thereafter, your badge number will accumulate points so that you can see how those points correspond with your wellness journey over time. I'm excited for you. I hope you enjoy this lesson. This is the Shibboleth Journey, lesson number 1. Hello friends, and welcome to the Shibboleth Journey. By now, you should have already went through the FasTrack course. You've taken the test, you passed the test, and you earned the badge. If you haven't, if you snuck in here, go back. A thing that starts right will end right. Always begin with the end in mind, and you won't be wasting time. So, what is the Shibboleth Journey? The Shibboleth Journey begins where the FasTrack ends. It's a little deeper dive into all things nutrition and all things behavior modification. In FasTrack, we told you just what you needed to know to lose up to 10% of your body weight in your first 30 days. Now we're going to teach you what you need to know to continue on, losing 1% of your body weight each and every week. The difference is the body weight that you lose during your Shibboleth journey will be mostly fat instead of all that water and sugar. Because by now, you have learned how to lock it down and rip off the knob. You're just beginning to change your carbohydrate-dependent metabolism into a fat-adapted metabolism. Now, certainly when we have too many holidays, we got to start that process over, but that's okay. That's a part of the journey. This is a wellness journey. We don't do diets here. And yes, I repeat a lot of the same things over and over and over. Repetition is the mother of skill. The more you hear it, the better it gets. The more it sinks into the heart and into the subconscious. but we're going to be looking at a lot of things that, you've already encountered in the FasTrack, but then we're going to take it a lot further. These short videos are going to teach you everything you ever wanted to know about practical, sustainable, and fun nutrition. You still got to forget everything you know. One of the things that I'm up against is all of those competing influences that are trying to get you to, chase every shiny object. As soon as something fascinates us and offers instantaneous results, miracle results, pills, potions, gimmicks, or whatever, trying to sell us something that will never work, we're off to the races, and then we got to start all over. Look, you'll never need another program. I know I sound biased, but you know it in your heart. This works because we don't exclude any nutrient, any lifestyle, so-called lifestyle, that excludes a food group or a nutrient isn't much of a lifestyle at all. Now, certainly, even with Shibboleth,
I'm going to stop it here for a minute so that we can discuss this. I want to discuss this. First of all, is there anyone here that when you finish FasTrack that you did not continue on in the journey in this way, in order? You didn't start that way. Anybody? Betty didn't. Okay. So Stella, good. So we're ending FasTrack. Now, if it's been a while since you completed FasTrack, I'm going to suggest that you go back through FasTrack, then start the journey videos. So with Journey, there's been some things mentioned already that I want us to unpack. Did you catch that I said the real weight loss, the real fat loss, the real health benefits of Shibboleth, they did not start with FasTrack. They start with the journey, because we have trained our metabolisms to be glucose dependent. Now we're in the beginning stages of training our metabolisms to be fat adapted metabolisms. To someone here, what does that mean to you? I think Lori's talking, but I can't hear her. Sorry, Lori. Anyone else? To lose weight. So when we're losing weight, we're all hyper fixated on the tool that we use called the bathroom scales. They're a liar. The truth is not in them. They lie. So when we see weight loss or weight gain, it's not necessarily talking about strict fat loss or fat gain. In the early stages, we're losing water and glucose. So an example of a journey video that you will run into is that when we consume carbohydrate, we need carbohydrate, but every gram of carbohydrate latches on to 2 to 3 times its weight in water. And we're pulling that into the cells. So we get this fictitious weight gain that we think is fat gain, and it's not. Mostly water weight. If we put weight on fast, it will come off fast. If we put weight on slow, it'll come off slow. Fat is the kind of weight that you put on slowly over time. We might think because we were having so much fun that we put it on fast, but you didn't. You have to be in a surplus of 3,500 calories in order to put on 1 pound of fat. And you don't do that every day, nor do you take off that much every day. When we're in the beginning stages, we're mostly using up reserve glucose as a fuel source. But when you begin to eat right again, the right amount of protein, the right carbohydrate, the right fat, your body starts preferring fat as a fuel source, and it will become more efficient at burning fat. When you first start, your body's not used to burning fat very efficiently. So it's really the cravings are still there and all this stuff is going on. But over time, your body's like, wow, this is a real concentrated source of calories, this fat thing. And I'm going to really efficiently begin to use this. And you'll burn fat at a higher rate. So we want to move to a fat adapted metabolism. Does that make sense? You don't start that way, and that shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Your body is an evolutionary thing, and it's looking for carbohydrates to burn because carbohydrates an easy energy source to burn. You won't exclude carbohydrates to develop a fat adapted metabolism. You will consume adequate carbs. And what happens is it's like a manual transmission. So you have to push in the clutch to shift gears, right? So at first, when you start this and you consume carbs, your body's used the carbs. It's like you've got a failing transmission and the clutch is getting stuck. You're not able to easily shift to the next gear. That's the craving period. Am I making sense? That's the time that you crave. You get these terrible cravings because that carbohydrate was such an easy fuel source for the body. But what happens if you eat the right amount of carbs in the right combination and you're controlling insulin, then your body gets used to you not giving it any more carbs and you start overcoming those cravings. And then that it's like you took your body to the mechanic and now the clutch and the transmission, everything's working smooth and your body just easily shifts back over into fat burning because you're more fat adapted as a metabolism. You're getting your body used to burning fat again because you're eating in the right food combinations. Does that make sense? The only way to do that is through consistency. That's why we have the weekly timing chart so that you can see the time that you spent in fat burning each and every month. Because if you don't spend enough time in fat burning each and every month, is your body ever going to become fat adapted? No. If when you know in the chart, when you see check, check, and then you have a holiday, check, check, holiday, never any fat burning, your body will never become fat adapted that way. You got to have that consistency. You got to lock it down and rip off the knob. Any questions or comments about that part of what we've talked about today?
I'm assuming there's no formula for us to know how long that's going to take us to do. Or is the formula that you just keep on keeping on?
Keep on keeping on. So
Perfect.
The truth is 24 to 25 days a month, eating the right way and eating well balanced. Let me try to give it to you another way that might help. Candy's asking, can I just eat a 1 protein bar when I get hungry? Well, yeah, it's approved. Yeah. Yeah, if it's approved, you sure can. Maybe I'm not understanding, but you sure can. All right, so let me, hopefully I can figure out how to keep people off my whiteboard. Ah, they're already writing on it. Geraldine, would y'all show me later today how to keep people from writing on my whiteboard? Is it somewhere on here? I need my whiteboard. There's no use in me starting because they're going to write on it. Where is Classic? Huh.
How about whoever's writing on the whiteboard, just quit writing on the whiteboard? We're grown. Act like it.
They won't do it.
I just wanted to say, I wasn't doing, unless you saw me typing and it coming across. Did you see it type?
I
words?
didn't.
Oh, okay. Because I don't think
Uh-uh.
it's intentional. I think if we touch our phone while you're doing, because that's all I did the other day was touch my phone and it made a line. That's it.
Yeah.
So if we're scrolling down or whatever, it's happening. So we have to just not touch our phone while you use your whiteboard, because I really don't think it's happening that way.
Yeah, no, it's the only person that's doing it on purpose is Charles when he's here. He can't help himself. I don't see where there's classic. It's probably much better or they wouldn't have done it, but I don't see how to do classic. I'm gonna try it. We'll try it. So when you've got protein, carbs, fat, and water, right? When you're consuming all these nutrients together, Cindy, I think you and I even talked about this, just not as it relates to fat adaptation. So when you're eating a lot of carbs, you're sparing the fat to be stored and you're sparing the protein to preserve. Does that make sense, everybody? Your body in one eating episode really can't handle more than 30 grams of carbs. Just that is 120 calories. So you will not be able to ever become fat adapted when most of the meals that we consume are 100 grams of carbs or more. 100 grams of carbs is 400 calories. Most people consider that a light meal. You get so much insulin, you're not going to efficiently burn fat, and it's going to take you hours to burn through those carbs. Meanwhile, the fat wasn't needed as an energy source. It just wasn't needed. But if I'm consuming per meal maybe 20 grams of carbs, that's only 80 calories. I controlled insulin with protein. I controlled insulin with protein and fiber. My body's going to use up those 80 calories, and then it's going to need some fat. This is all the carbs it had. So now it's like, got to shift and find another energy source for the next few hours. So it's going to find fat because it used the carbs. At first, this is a clunky process, but the more your body grows accustomed to it without you feeding its cravings, the more quickly that shift and more efficient that shift will be. Does that make sense? That's why we do combinations from the standpoint of we want to avoid complex carbohydrates with long chain fats. When we put those two together, there's just not going to be any way to become fat adapted or to become our bodies to become efficient at burning fat. Did that make sense? The more
Yes,
carbs,
that makes sense.
the more carbs we have in a day, the less of the fat that we're going to need as an energy source. So we've got to be in a calorie deficit. You can be in a calorie deficit and eat nothing but carbs, and you'll lose a little bit of fat, but it'll be hard to lose very much fat because your body never gets accustomed to efficiently breaking down and burning fat. So too many carbs, your body's just going to keep those cravings going. There's no efficiency. Fat is a much more efficient fuel source than carbohydrate. Carbohydrate's an easy fuel source. Let's finish.
There are times and seasons to get quicker results that we exclude a nutrient or a food group, just temporarily. But any time that you exclude a food group or nutrient permanently, there's going to be ramifications. For example, if you were, let's say, the popular thing now is to go on a carnivore diet, to become a long-term carnivore. That works really good in the beginning. In fact, our version of a carnivore diet is the Lion Day and the Shark Day, which we talk about in the Tiger's Eye curriculum. We do it too, but I don't promote doing it permanently. You see, a lot of the plant-based foods, is what's going to allow for us to have that good gut bacteria. If we stuck to a carnivore diet permanently over a long period of time, it is my belief that we would ruin our gut health, and that would deplenish our immune system. We need to become the bully of food and not food the bully of us. We need to be aware that our culture is always going to be fattish. So the more you know under the Shibboleth umbrella, the more you'll understand the fads that come out. You'll understand that these things are just short-term results that offer no real long-term benefit. Use these fads when they're, something like carnivore, veganism. Use that to your advantage, but do know about all of the macronutrients. So today, lesson number 1 in the Shibboleth Journey. You most likely know this, but we're going to teach it anyway. There are 2 types of nutrients. There's macronutrients and there's micronutrients. Now, one could argue the case that there's a third, and that's phytonutrition. But I'm going to let micronutrition encompass phytonutrition. So we've got macronutrients and we've got micronutrients. Macronutrients are what we learned about in FasTrack. We learned about protein, carbohydrate, fat, and water. And we learned about how they break down. We're going to learn more about how they break down in the Shibboleth Journey. Micronutrition is your vitamins and your minerals. That's where we get into that belief that we should not exclude a food group, because we want to get in all of our vitamins and our minerals. If we don't, if we're depleted of necessary water-soluble, fat-soluble vitamins and minerals, then our immune system is going to deteriorate. Our health will deteriorate. We will not be able to efficiently burn fat. So, lesson 1 today, remember, there are 2 types of nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. I'll see you in the next Shibboleth Journey lesson.
Okay, everybody. And then when you finish, of course, you have the ability to heart it, to make comments, to share it, or make sure and mark as watched. So you want to make sure you mark it as watched so that you get your badge and your points. Does that make sense, everybody? So we embark on this journey of lifelong education that never ends. And what you'll see, the more you keep this stuff top of consciousness, the more of an aware eater you become, more aware of how the food on the plate not just tastes but breaks down. You are going to just keep evolving and get leaner and healthier. It's just a beautiful journey. Does everybody like where we're going with this? Keep in mind, though, that we're labeling them video 1. I will do updates from time to time. I might get through 30 videos and then come back and do 1.1, 1.2, because there's always something else to fill in there that would be helpful to somebody as we learn and grow together. Any questions or comments? That's it for today. I want to be able to answer any questions you have. That's what we're going to start doing in the 10:30 sessions, is Q&A, and then we'll keep going through Journey together so that you know what's happening when you get here. And we'll unpack it, of course. We're not just going to watch a video. It's to try to get you to watch the next video, but then unpack it, learn about it. Any questions? Everybody satisfied? I'm glad you like it. We know that success for most of our clients come from the foundation, the FasTrack, and it just makes sense to continue that education. The challenge will be, as we're moving forward and it's never ending, we'll have to figure, you have new students that aren't caught up, but hopefully they'll go back, they'll start with 1, and we'll just keep going that way. It's not going to hurt them if we're on 72, for them to watch number 1. We're always learning about nutrition. Questions, comments, anybody? Y'all good? Beth, I see Beth is here. Amanda, hey, everybody. Anybody got anything before we go? We did kick off 21-day self-mastery today. It's good to see so many people doing that. It's going to be a fun one, and you can lose up to 21 pounds in 21 days. If you miss this one, there'll be another one. Thank you, Joy. All right. If all hearts and minds are clear, we'll just close out in a word of prayer. And we will have our Faithfully Fit session tomorrow at noon. Partner Faithfully Fit. Please keep praying about becoming a partner. We appreciate all of our partners. Thank you for supporting the Shibby Shop. People starting to find out that it's open, and we appreciate Karen for continuing to anchor that. Please use the Shibby Shop when you shop. All right, I'm going to close this out. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. Thank y'all. Talk soon.